Do you guys want to do an update on housing videos? So I'm just going to kind of give you like our thoughts and all the things. We are actually, I've been in Boston for days. And so I have one more appointment this morning, which will be in, let's see, I think it's like 10 now and it's supposed to be at 1. We have the hotel until 11. So bringing things down and getting all ready to leave. So yeah, I literally am texting back and forth with my real estate agent as well. Sorry, that's probably annoying. So yeah, we're in the hotel. This is Wednesday. We paid off that debt. I think I shared that with you guys. So we paid off one of our debts. Our other debts, I can't get you to stand. All right. Now you have a cup. Goodness, I just had it fine until I answered the text. So I just had, what is that? Is that hair? Oh yes, that is hair. Oh look, my longer sideburns because I'm older are like sticking out the side. Okay, anyhow, or like some of my children say, anyhow, we're going to continue gently looking at properties. So we are going to look at properties, but only if they like meet our criteria and not stress out about it or try not to. If it seems like overwhelming, then it's just kind of like, yeah, no, we're done. So there are actually a couple new properties that have been listed, and one is 50,000. Actually, not a couple new properties. One property has dropped in price significantly. So it was 580. Yeah, way over budget, and it's been dropped down to $499 just over the past little bit because it's not selling, and it says very motivated sellers. I'm taking that as they're very motivated. So our max budget is $450. So I said, what do you think? I asked my realtor, I'm like, what do you think? Too much? And she's like, it's worth looking at it. Even if we look at it and then later on it doesn't sell and they drop the price more, or it doesn't hurt to try, right? I can always put an offer in. They can just refuse it. People know how to refuse properties for me. Oh, this is a great view. It's like, whoop. Anyway, I'm trying to open my coffee and slurp so I can annoy some people. So that property we're going to look at in the next couple days. My husband's going to look at that one with us. And then there's another property that my daughter found. She actually found 2 properties, and one has been on the market for a while, and there was something that was wrong with it, but actually the seller has fixed that something. It was something with the septic, and they have like a full septic report saying that that's been updated and repaired since the house got on the sale. And that one's in budget. I want to say that's like $399. And then there's another one which is exactly our budget at $450, which just got on the market, and that's the one I'm really kind of excited to look at. So she asked if I wanted to look at it before the time that we were going to look at the other ones, just because it might be one of those ones that goes quick. And I said, yeah, if you can like arrange that, then that's great. I think she probably lives like 2 hours from me. But she's like so awesome. So I'm hoping to look at that one that had 3 acres. So the first one had, how much did that first one have? Like 2.5, something like that. Yeah, I think it was like 2.5 acres. And then the one that I really like has 3 acres. And then the other one has 1.9 or something like that. And that 1.91 is not on a lake, it's just close to a lake. Like you could walk to the lake. So we're not necessarily looking for a lake house. We just live in Maine and there's lots of lakes around. And we also know that it could potentially be like a good selling point. So I think those are the 3 houses that we plan on looking at. Trying not to fall in love with any of them. And guys, you are going to be like so shocked because all of them are new. For me, they're newer houses. I think the oldest one is like the 60s. Most of the other houses that we've looked at that have been in our price range have been in the older range. Now, for me, I don't think a new house has the charm, but I also have to be practical and say this might be like the Lord's way of just showing us that no, we need a newer house, we need updated electrical system, we need all these things. So that's the plan. The plan is to look at those houses. And I might, yeah. So we're gonna look at those houses over the next couple of days. They all look pretty good. We paid off the one. I kind of like redid our budget, so we kind of paid off the one debt. We have some money going to savings and then some money that's going to be going towards debts. So I feel comfortable with that. The only debts that we have right now, I kind of classify them differently than an actual debt because there's a one asset to go with it. So like I think of a house as kind of like, okay, you could either pay like rent or you could pay a mortgage. And so that's a debt, right? Like if that's in your name, your mortgage is kind of whatever, but you're going to be paying a bill anyway. I kind of look as cars. Cars are debt. I understand that. But I think I just classify it in my own brain as different than, because honestly, like if it's one thing, then they could just come and repossess the thing. So say if it was like a tractor, a car, something like that piece of equipment, if you didn't pay that, then they would repossess the one thing. Credit card debt is just like sporadically you might be like overspending, or you're living not within your means or whatever. And there's been tons of times that we have been through that. Or an emergency came up and we had to use this and we're trying to pay it off, or those types of situations. Or maybe you're just using it as, we're buying things and then we're paying it off. So there's so many different ways to look at things. So in my mind, just for my households, I look at vehicle debt a little bit differently than consumable debt. So we paid off all of our like consumable, anything that's not a vehicle or a home. So we have just our, we have two vehicles that still have money owed on them. One is the big van that we just bought, which I really feel as necessary because we have a large family and I need to be able to at least fit enough of my kids into the vehicle to go to doctor's appointments. We were looking for something used that we could have like in budget or that we could pay off quicker, and it just didn't work out. And that is used, actually. It's a 2017, so it's not brand new. They just happen to be expensive. So we have that one, and then we have some left on paying my husband's truck off, which is a 2017 as well. We just owe less money on that than we do for the van. So we're just going to be applying to those debts a little bit more than what we're doing right now. I just kind of need to budget in, okay, we're putting this to this. Yeah, so that's how things work. We feel comfortable with that. We feel really blessed that we're able to pay off that debt. And we're just gonna slowly look, and I'm going to be open to different types of housing. The houses that we're looking at are a little bit further out. Maybe a little longer drive for my husband, like 45 to an hour for him to drive to work versus like half an hour, but it's good. And then also for like Boston Children's, we're looking at like an hour and 45 to like 2 hours and 10. We're kind of like opening it up because there's quite a few places that would be like 2 hours and 5 minutes, 2 hours like that for Boston Children's. And most of the time, honestly, when we're coming down, I'm trying to like condense all of the appointments together and then just staying down here. So it'd be like driving down, staying over, and then I just have to be more efficient about trying to get housing ahead of time. So it's kind of funny. We're looking at houses and my daughter like sent them to me, and I know like she already like looked to see like if they were in range and everything, and I'm like, oh, these are really cute. So then I was like looking on the MapQuest to see how far, and it's like 3 hours and 45 minutes. And I'm like, what? I'm like, the traffic must really be bad, until I realized that I had the, the little switch thing that says avoid highways. Yeah, I had avoid highways. Yeah, I'm not avoiding highways. Let me click that back on. 1 hour and 50 minutes. Okay, that's a lot better. So that's where we're at, trying to mentally regroup, bring myself to the place of, okay, what do we need to do tomorrow? All the things. I wish I could get into like the whole Thanksgiving thing. I just feel I don't really know what I want to do like at home. Like it's my favorite time of the year is Thanksgiving, just gathering people around the table. But I know that like my son won't be able to come up. So then I was like, oh, maybe we'll just do like another day. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Anyway, that's our update on housing. I'll let you know how those turn out, and I hope you have a blessed day. So another thing about housing that I wanted to try to discuss was that hello, I'm in my basement now. Back home. Whoa, hello people. Is that I think what we're planning on doing is to just continue on with this. And then if we're allowed to stay here for a little bit longer, then we continue with that. I'm thinking that next year, especially if we don't have a place, that we want to travel to a specific area and go visit that area as like a vacation style and see if it's an area that we could potentially see ourselves living long term. That said, we're going to be actively looking from now until then because we don't really know what God's calling us to do. But we don't want to be out of his will. But, it's really tricky, right? We really feel like the Lord at least has us here for now because he's provided a church for us. He's actually provided kind of like a church for us here and a church for us in the Boston area, which has really been a blessing. He's provided like a greater homeschool community for us. He's just provided a lot of things that make us feel like maybe we're supposed to stay in southern Maine, even though it's expensive. So that's kind of where we're at with all of that. But come next spring, if we're still here, then we'll definitely be looking at taking a vacation and visiting different things. Yeah, seeing what else is out there.